Hello, it's Elaine with Elaine's Custom Cards, and this is the card we're making today. It's a really pretty simple card. Let me show you how I made it. I'll tell you what I used. We're using the Abigail Rose Designer Series paper. This is the one I used. It's in a black and very vanilla. And I went through it and I colored all of the flowers on here using Stampin' blends. And I made a list of the Stampin' blends I used. They're on my blog. So you can see that this is Fresh Freesia. This one is Sorbet. Just a second, let me get my list here. Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, Old Olive, and So Saffron. So I tried to use different colors of green for the leaves just to make them, because they're different kind of flowers. This is So Saffron on here. And to get that dottage on there, I used the Quiet Meadow stamp set. I just used this and stamped that on there. It's the same color that I used in the centers of the flowers and for these little, whatever they are. I used this stamp set for the sentiment, the happy birthday. And then I used several of the stamps in the cottage rose. So I'll show you that as we make this card. Like I said, all the sizes and dimensions are on my blog. If you go to the down arrow, that you can get to my blog from there. So we'll start out with this. I cut this piece after I colored it. Like this. This piece is 4x4. This was, let's see, 3 3/4 inch square, and then each one of these I cut, and they're 1 7/8 inch square, pretty sure. Yes, you want to make sure that you keep them in the proper order. So in order so that they don't get mixed up, excuse me, first thing I'm going to do is glue them down. That way I don't have to worry about them getting out of order. Sometimes it's sort of like a little puzzle. So I put a very small border of black on here. I think I've made this design before. This is just a little bit different, but basically the same. I've seen a lot of people make, looks like a window card. They're really very easy. You can see the Stampin' blends bleed through the Designer Series paper. Of course, they bleed through the cardstock too, so anyway, you just kind of try and make the space about the same around these. Doesn't have to be perfect unless you're a perfectionist, which I tend to be sometimes. Anyway, once you get those on there, then we'll set this aside. I'm going to go ahead and put dimensionals on the back of it, because we're going to pop this up. Okay, there's that. Put that out of the way. My dimensionals. Pop this up on dimensionals. And I used quite a few, because I didn't want it to sag in the mail. And you could probably get by with less, but I am going to use 9 on that. So we'll set this aside. We'll attach it in a minute. Actually, we can, well, I don't want to attach it yet, because I like to do the inside of my card. I've already stamped the sentiment because I wanted to make sure it was straight. Then I took this large rose, and I took fresh freesia and inked this up really well. Okay. And then I stamped it right over the top of my words. Just like so. Just like that. I just thought it added something to the card. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Let this dry. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my envelope. And this is what I did to the envelope. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. I took, let's see, I need a piece of scratch paper. I took this rose and the fresh freesia. And I just kind of stamped that right in the corner, like so. Okay. And then I took this leaf. And this is the Granny Apple Green. And I only wanted some of this, so I kind of just stamped on the corner of this stamp pad to just get what I wanted and what I don't want. I'm just going to wipe it off with the paper towel. I don't want that leaf, and I don't want that leaf right there. Okay, and I just stamped it right here, like so. Okay, kind of got over where I didn't want it, but it doesn't really matter. And I wanted another leaf or two. I wanted something down here. Let me clean this off. It's coming off of there. Let that dry off a little bit. So I'm going to put a leaf down here. And I think I can put just these bottom ones. Just like so. And I'm going to wipe part of this stem off. Okay. And we're going to just stamp just like that, so that you have some leaf at the bottom. Dealing with a frog in my throat today for some reason. Okay, that's the envelope. Now let's put the card together. So I'm going to take this panel, and we're going to put it on the front. I'm going to show you some other cards I did with the Wonderful World Designer Series paper. I'm going to turn this upside down so it's easier for me to get this straight. There. Okay. Now let's deal with our sentiment. I've already stamped the sentiment on a piece of Very Vanilla. And I got this, Very Vanilla is 3/4 inch wide, and then it was about 3.5 inches long, and then I stamped it, and then I punched using this Banner's Pick-a-Punch to punch on each end. And then I'm going to just glue this to my black, and the black is 3.5 by 7/8. Or it was. I think I trimmed it. But it is 7/8 inches wide. And I'm going to center that on here because I'm going to trim it. It's just easier for me to trim it than to try and use the punch. Because the punch, I could use it, but this is not, doesn't fit in between here, so it's a little hard to get it centered. So it's just easier to trim it with my scissors. So you can just go down the center like this, and then trim each edge off, just so it kind of matches the distance that you have on the top and bottom, like so. And then we're going to do the same over here. I'm going to just kind of go down just a little ways, and then cut just to the point, like so. And then I'm going to cut this point and trim that little bit off. Okay, then we're going to put Stampin' dimensionals on the back of this one. And I use 3 on this. And then I put it to the right on the card. And to make sure I didn't have that upside down, put it over here. Centered it between here and here. Okay, try and make sure you get it straight. And then I have a little bow, and this is made with the Tahitian Tide in color ribbon. It's very thin and not really fragile, but it does fray. And I wanted it like this, so I put it right on the very corner of that, just like so. And then I took these are the Glossy Dots assortment, and I use these blue ones. And I put them on there just like it looks like on this sheet. I put one here, and the next size right behind it, like so. Oops. I guess that's pretty straight. And then the next one behind that, just like so. And that's your card for today. So let me know what you think. Where am I? Oh, here it is. There's this one. Abigail Rose. You can color these flowers any color you want, and then you can use different colored ribbon instead of the color I used. This ribbon comes in all 3 or all 5 of the in colors. And I wanted to show you a couple of cards from the Wonderful World designer series paper that's free that I made. These 2 cards. If you're interested in learning how I made either one of them, leave me a comment and I can do a video next week on one of these, or both of them if you're interested. Celebration lasts until the end of August. If there's something specific you want, get your order in right away, because it lasts till August 31st, but it's while supplies last. So when it's gone, it's gone. So if there's something you want, get your order in rather than later, so that you can get what you want from during celebration, because the items are free. So email me if you have any questions, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. In the down arrow, you can get to my online store, or if you if you just want to order stuff. If you're interested in being a demonstrator, go to my blog, and there's a you can either do shop now or you can do join now. There's a little tab that you can choose for either one of those. So I hope you have a blessed day and that you have fun stamping. I hope you like this card. It's very simple. I enjoyed making it. That doesn't look very good on there, does it? Anyway, you could get quite a few cards out of this paper. I mean, I already have it cut up, and I'd like to make some more cards with it. This is the one I made for today. So you have a blessed day and have fun stamping.